Hello UGC NET aspirants. Welcome back to your favorite channel where even the most difficult English literature theories become simple and fun to learn. Let us begin by talking about something really important. The UGC NET exam is changing. It is no longer enough to simply memorize British poets and dramatists, a few Indian English writers, and popular theories like feminism or post-colonialism and be done. The exam is evolving and so is the syllabus. Questions are now coming from areas like cultural studies, media and communication theory, and even interdisciplinary topics that overlap with sociology and philosophy. So if you've ever looked at a question about films or mass media and thought, why is this question in an English literature exam? You're not alone. But here's the good news. You're absolutely in the right place. One of the most frequently mentioned topics in this new pattern is the Frankfurt School. If you are new to this channel, then please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that as soon as I upload a new video, you are the first one to know about it. We come up with new videos every week touching upon most important topics that are repeatedly asked in UGC NET English exam. In today's video, we'll learn all you need to know about the Frankfurt School, from what cultural studies is to who the Frankfurt School thinkers were and why their ideas still matter today. Friends, if you are looking for more PYQs on this topic, you can refer to the Unit End questions in my UGC NET Paper 1 book that provides you with 6500 plus solved unit-wise questions with detailed solutions and hints. But hey, what if you are looking for online mock tests that can help you practice questions in online exam format? If that's what you are looking for, you can join our newly updated online mock test series with a wide range of full-length tests available on the Arpita Karwa learning app. These tests perfectly replicate the UGC NET exam interface, providing you with a real-life exam experience. Plus, after each test, you'll receive a detailed performance report and see where you stand in the All India leaderboard. First things first, what is even cultural studies? Well, cultural studies is a broad and dynamic field that explores how culture shapes our lives and how our lives, in turn, shape culture. Or in simple words, it is a subject that looks at how the things we watch, read or listen to affect our thoughts and behavior. This includes everything from the movies we watch, the TV shows we binge, the memes we share, to the ads we skip or click on. It asks questions like, why are most superheroes men? Or how do reality shows change our ideas of success? Or how do beauty ads affect how we see ourselves? Cultural studies looks at how power, class, gender, race, and ideology work through media and art. And it combines subjects like literature, sociology, psychology, and media studies. Basically, it looks at how people with more power use media to spread certain ideas. And one of the earliest groups to explore these questions seriously was the Frankfurt School. Oh, and by the way, who doesn't love free stuff? If you want even more past year questions on this topic without spending a penny, head over to our website. Under the past year paper tab, you will find all the PYQs from 2012 onwards. Ours is the only website that offers 150 plus official UGC NET Paper 1 question papers with authentic answer keys for absolutely free. So, what are you waiting for? Check the description box and grab those free resources today. Let us now understand what the Frankfurt School was. The Frankfurt School was a group of intellectuals and philosophers who came together in the 1920s and 30s at the Institute for Social Research in Frankfurt, Germany. This is what the Frankfurt School is named after. They were deeply inspired by Marxist ideas but wanted to move beyond just economic issues. Instead, they wanted to include culture, art, and mass media in their analysis of society. Their work came to be known as critical theory, and this term was first introduced by them. They asked difficult but important questions like, why do people accept unfair systems? Why don't revolutions happen even when injustice is everywhere? And how does the media influence our beliefs? With the rise of Nazism in Germany, many Frankfurt School thinkers were forced into exile. The Institute for Social Research, where the Frankfurt School was based, had to shut down in 1933. This happened shortly after Adolf Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany. Many members of the Frankfurt School were Jewish and openly spoke against the Nazi government. Because of this, they faced serious threats and had to leave the country for their safety. They went into exile and continued their work in other places, especially in the United States, where they kept developing their ideas on culture, society, and media. Let's now see who were the key member of the Frankfurt School and what their key ideas were. Let's begin with Max Horkheimer and Theodor Adorno. Horkheimer and Adorno are almost always mentioned together because they co-wrote a powerful and influential book called Dialectic of Enlightenment. One of their most important ideas was something they called the culture industry. Let's understand what they meant by this. Picture this. You come home after a long, tiring day. You switch on the TV, scroll through a few channels, and what do you find? Reality shows, celebrity gossip, the same kind of drama everywhere, different channels but the same story. That's when you might start to wonder, who decides what we watch? Why does everything feel so similar? Horkheimer and Adorno believed that in modern capitalist societies, culture is not created to express ideas or tell the truth anymore. It's created to make money. Art, they said, has become just another product made in bulk, packaged neatly and sold to the masses, like toothpaste or mobile phones. That's why they called it the culture industry. Or, to put it simply, they believed movies, music, and shows were no longer meant to inspire us, they were being made just to sell to us. And what happens when we consume the same kind of content over and over again? We stop questioning. We stop thinking deeply and start accepting things as they are. As a result, we get too comfortable with the way things are, even if they are unfair or harmful. This complacency is dangerous because it kills the possibility of real change. People stop imagining a better world. They stop hoping for justice or fighting for what's right. In other words, it makes revolution almost impossible. This is why Horkheimer and Adorno were so critical of mass media. They believed that if culture keeps people quiet and unthinking, then it becomes a tool for control, not for freedom. Friends, did you know that to ace the UGC NET exam, you need to be familiar with around 1200 important writers, terms, and theories? In this video, we've covered some of them, but there's so much more to explore. The complete list of topics that are repeatedly asked in UGC NET English exam is available absolutely free on our website. You can download the list and start preparing for UGC NET at your own pace today. So don't miss out. Click on the website link given in description box to download the detailed topic list and confidently prepare for the upcoming UGC NET exam. Next, we come to Herbert Marcuse. He was deeply concerned about how modern life shapes the way we think. A Frankfurt School thinker, Marcuse was best known for his book One-Dimensional Man. Marcuse argued that modern industrial societies shape people to think in only one direction, meaning today's society teaches us there is only one right way to live. We are told that success means getting a 9-to-5 job, owning a car, and living in a nice apartment. That's it. But what if someone wants something different? What if someone wants to be a poet, a painter, or just live a slower, simpler life? Marcuse believed that the capitalist system limits our thinking and crushes alternative lifestyles and ideas. In simple words, the system we live in doesn't allow space for these dreams. It shuts down different ways of thinking and living. It makes us believe that if we don't follow the usual path, we are doing something wrong. He warned that this kind of thinking is dangerous because it kills creativity and takes away our freedom to choose the life we really want. So, here's something to think about. Have you ever felt pressured to follow a path just because everyone else is doing it? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget, understanding thinkers like Marcuse helps you not just in your exam but also in life. Friends, if you're looking for video lectures that can explain more such difficult terms in a very simple and easy manner, then consider enrolling in our online course for UGC NET English. We're proud to be India's first animated video course where we explain over 500 important plays, novels, and poems in an engaging way. For more details, check out the description box or download the Arpita Karwa learning app. Now let's talk about Walter Benjamin, a favorite among literature students for linking politics and art. His most famous essay is The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction. In it, he explained how new technologies like photography and film changed the way we experience art. Earlier, a painting or sculpture felt rare and magical when seen in person. Benjamin called this special feeling the aura of the artwork. But when the same image is copied and shared over and over, like seeing the Mona Lisa on your phone 100 times, it loses that magic. This is what he meant by the loss of aura. Benjamin felt this was dangerous because when art loses its impact, people stop thinking deeply. They stop asking questions. And when that happens, it becomes easier for those in power to control how we think and what we value. This makes it easier for those in power to control how we think and what we value. Finally, we have Jürgen Habermas, who is a second-generation thinker of the Frankfurt School. He is best known for the concept of the public sphere. The public sphere is any space, physical or digital, where people come together to discuss ideas, debate opinions, and influence social change. Today, these spaces could be news channels, YouTube comment sections, Twitter threads, or even group chats. But Habermas warned that these spaces are slowly being taken over by corporations and political agendas, and real, open debate is being replaced with noise and manipulation. For example, in the Indian context, many news channels are now more focused on shouting matches and political bias rather than real balanced discussions. Instead of helping people think clearly, these platforms often create confusion, noise, and emotional drama. He believed that keeping the public sphere honest and open is essential for a healthy democracy. Now you might be thinking, all this is interesting, but how does it connect to English literature? Well, the answer is in more ways than you might expect. Many of the literary theories we study today, like Marxist criticism, cultural materialism, and media studies, are actually built on the ideas of the Frankfurt School. So when you read a novel and ask, how is capitalism shaping this story? Or how does the society influence the individual in this world? Or who controls society? You're already using critical theory. Think of books like 1984 by George Orwell or Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. These stories talk about things like surveillance, media control, and forcing people to think in only one way. That is exactly the kind of problems the Frankfurt thinkers were warning us about. Let's now revise with some previous year UGC NET questions. The first question is on your screen. You may pause the video to read the question. This question asks us about key facts related to the Frankfurt School. Option A is incorrect. The Frankfurt School was officially founded in 1923, not 1925. Option B is correct. Adorno and Horkheimer were indeed two of its most prominent members. Option C is also correct. The Frankfurt School introduced the term critical theory. Option D again is incorrect. The school had no direct ties with the Moscow Linguistic Circle. And finally, option E is also correct. Many members were forced into exile when Nazism rose in Germany. So the correct answer is option 4, B, C and E. Let's look at another question. This question asks us to identify the correct understanding of the Frankfurt School's view on culture. The most accurate statement here is option 2. They argued that the culture industries make people passive and encourage them to conform. Friends, if you are looking for more PYQs on this topic, you can check out my exclusive mock test series available on Arpita Karwa learning app, which provides you with 5,000 plus topic-wise questions. Plus, after every test, you get a detailed performance report and your ranking on the All India leaderboard, which will help you spot your weak and strong areas. Friends, I hope this video has been really useful to you, not just for your UGC NET exam preparation, but for understanding the world around you too. That's it from my side for this video lecture. We'll meet very soon in the next video lecture. Till the time we meet next, happy learning, keep loving literature and stay tuned to my channel.